I'm just going to say it like it is. This is probably the best LEGO set of 2025 that we've seen so far. And a lot of the other sets simply don't hold up when it comes to value for money, the aesthetics, the features, and the general goodness of this LEGO set. The main build is the dragon, of course, with 4 legs, 2 wings, a head, and a tail. The model features a lot of ball joints, such as in the head, and this is what allows it to achieve those organic curves that you see. The tail can swing and all the sorts of stuff that you'd usually expect, but what you might not expect is the cleverness of the design itself. When you look at some of the ways the dragon has been joined together, you just wonder if it's even humans working at the LEGO company these days. To be honest, the set is pretty much the perfect LEGO created dragon. Of course, it could have been better with printed eyes instead of these ones, or perhaps with fabric sails for wings, but they were never going to do that in a Creator 3-in-1 set. Some of the part choices were also a little confusing, to say the least, like these random gold pieces that you might see in the middle of the build. But the reason for that is because this is a Creator 3-in-1 set. Now, to be honest, it probably didn't have to be a Creator 3-in-1 set. This dragon would have sold very well on shelves as a set of its own, but that's not the LEGO formula that they use on all their sets. So it makes sense that they wanted to have 3 builds in order to boost sales. Now, let's start with the head and go through each of the features. The head is very well designed, featuring these leaf pieces for eyebrows which click in, and it might look like it's about to fall apart at any moment, and it kind of is, but it's held together for me so far, and I like to think it'll stay that way. The head can rotate on a joint and has a mouth that can open and close with 2 tan clips for teeth. The horns itself, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this 3-pronged horn as opposed to traditional 1-pronged dragon horns, but I suppose it does the job, and it allows them to use smaller pieces as opposed to one big horn piece, bringing the price down. Moving on to the neck, we see that it's built in one section which can move up and down on a hinge, a hinged ball joint. Hinges themselves have been used here, but it creates this rigidity that means you can't move the middle section of that neck like you can the other ball joints. Moving on to the middle of the dragon, there are a lot of these large, I like to say Technic pieces for the joints, but I'm not quite sure what they are. A lot of them I've never seen before, and so I'm not quite sure which LEGO system they belong to, but they look almost bionicle. Either way, they do the job, and the wings and legs have a bunch of different positions that they can click into. So you can't just move them freely. Unfortunately, you have to click them into a bunch of different positions. Now, normally that wouldn't be an issue for anyone, either using this dragon in mocks or displaying it. But for stop motion animators, having that micro adjustability goes a long way, and unfortunately it's not present in this model. When it comes to the wings, the dark red with red accents does a very good job. But something I'd like to point out is the ability of the wings to expand. When the dragon is in its normal position, the wings appear folded up, as if the dragon's not flying. But if you do want the dragon to fly in a mock or build, you'd have to stretch the wings out like this, creating these unsightly gaps that could better be filled with a cloth wing, like we've seen in a lot of the Ninjago sets. The red hooks at the end of the wings are a nice addition, and they add a lot to the overall impression you get of the build. Another notable piece I'd like to talk about are the dark red square base pyramids running down the back of the dragon. These are actually very nice pieces, and I surprisingly haven't seen them before, but I reckon they'll be very useful for detailing in future MOCs. We can also see most of the dragon is tiled, giving it that smooth modern aesthetic that you'd expect from LEGO these days, even though it's a creator set. The tail features a bunch of ball joints which are somewhat repetitive to build, but it looks great. And the tail itself uses a rocket piece and a hook fang piece for the tail on one of those tree elements in green. Most of the dragon is medium green color, most of the dragon is the normal green with a lot of medium green in it as well, which I am a big fan of. Seeing as medium green is quite an uncommon color, it's good to get more of it. And I suspect there were some recolors in the production of this set. The side build to this is of course the treasure. These days you cannot have a dragon set without a treasure chest. Unfortunately, the treasure chest here is brick built, seeing as it's a Creator 3-in-1 set, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would have preferred one of the normal brown or medium nougat treasure chests, but the pile of gold itself is very well done and gives us a lot of nice gold pieces, such as these corner tiles, as well as a cup. When you open the treasure chest, you can see 3 of those new color opalescent sort of pieces. I'm not really sure what they're meant to be. Probably some sort of opals or gems of some sort. There was only meant to be 2 in the set and 1 extra, but all 3 fit in the box. So I just put all 3 in there. It also comes with 2 stalagmites, suggesting that this is in a sort of cave. Even though the stalagmites are very short, it's a simple side build, but it goes a long way into making the set the great set that it is. When it comes to the box, we can see that it's 715 pieces, and I believe this set retails for only 80 or so Australian dollars, but you can find it as low as 60, like I got this one. In American terms, that's like 40 or 50, I'm not really sure on the conversion rate, but whatever it is, you can expect that 715 pieces for 60 Australian dollars is a great deal, especially considering the quality of the set. We can also see it's got a digital background, including a castle on the far left, and the box design itself looks quite nice. We can also see the alternate builds that make it a 3-in-1 set, but none of them look particularly eye-catching, and it remains true in this Creator 3-in-1 set, like many others, that the main model is the one meant to be built, and the others are simply side builds, as opposed to ones you would actually want to build. Even though this is a 9+ set, I think it's a great set for all ages, simply due to what it is as a dragon and the construction techniques. I think the only reason it is 9+ is simply because it's a 3-in-1 set, but if you're older, don't let this put you off. The building techniques aren't dumbed down or simplified for a childish audience. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.